The headlines are full of talk about missile exchanges, with tensions high between nations like the US and Iran. We see images of drones over Iraq, rockets hitting Syria, and the world holds its breath. The explosion is over, the sirens have stopped, you've survived. But now, the most dangerous part might be just beginning. It's invisible, it's silent, and you could be breathing it in right now. When the sirens fade, a silent, unseen threat can remain in the air, a toxic legacy that can harm you long after the immediate danger has passed. For people in any city caught in the crossfire, the immediate blast is terrifying. But what about the poison that comes after? That fine, invisible dust and chemical soup that hangs in the air, settling on everything, just waiting to be inhaled. This is what a missile attack actually does to the air and to your lungs. Understanding what's really in that air could save your life. So, to get a handle on the danger, we need to break down what's actually in the air after an explosion in a city. Drawing on data from events like 9/11, analysis of modern conflicts in Iraq and Syria, and the basic science of explosions, we can paint a grim picture of this airborne threat. It's not just smoke, it's a toxic cocktail. First, you have pulverized matter. When a missile hits a building, it doesn't just knock it down, it pulverizes it. Concrete, glass, steel, insulation, plastics, office equipment, all of it is violently shattered into billions of tiny particles. Imagine everything that makes up a modern city shredded into a cloud of dust so fine it can hang in the air for days. This isn't like regular dust. It's an aggressive mix of silica, lead, other heavy metals, and in older buildings, even asbestos. Think of it as thousands of microscopic shards of glass and metal, ready to be drawn deep into your lungs. Second, there's the residue from the explosive itself. Military-grade high explosives like RDX and HMX are chemically complex. When detonated, they can leave behind chemical byproducts. If a missile is intercepted, unburnt solid rocket fuel can add other chemicals, like perchlorates, to this fog. Third, and maybe the most insidious part, are the products of fire. Explosions almost always trigger secondary fires, which consume everything: plastics, electronics, cars, and industrial materials. The smoke is a witch's brew of carcinogens loaded with volatile organic compounds, VOCs, and dioxins. If older electrical equipment burns, chemicals like PCBs banned decades ago could also be released. If the attack hits an industrial zone or a fuel depot, the situation gets even worse. We've seen reports from conflict zones where strikes on oil facilities cause huge plumes of black smoke that lead to black rain. Toxic, oily sludge falling from the sky. This rain can be acidic, containing sulfur and nitrogen compounds, capable of causing immediate skin irritation and breathing difficulties. All of these components, pulverized buildings, explosive residues, and toxic smoke, create a cloud dominated by a particularly dangerous substance, PM 2.5. This stands for particulate matter that is 2.5 micrometers or smaller in diameter. For perspective, single human hair is about 70 micrometers thick. These particles are about 1/25 the width of a hair and totally invisible. Their tiny size is exactly what makes them so dangerous. They're too small for your nose and upper airways to filter out. They just float, travel, and wait to be inhaled. So, what happens when this toxic PM 2.5 cocktail gets inside you? The invasion is a multi-stage process with immediate and terrifyingly long-term consequences. Your body's first line of defense, the hairs and mucus in your nose, can't stop particles this small. They sail right past and travel deep into your lungs, down into the delicate sacs called the alveoli. That's the critical place where oxygen enters your blood. The immediate effects can start within minutes. You might feel a burning in your throat, eyes, and nose. A dry, hacking cough can start what first responders at the World Trade Center called the WTC cough. You could experience wheezing, shortness of breath, and chest tightness as your airways get inflamed. For anyone with asthma or COPD, this inflammation can trigger a severe, life-threatening attack. Within hours to days, the danger gets worse. Those fine particles lodged in your lungs trigger a fierce inflammatory response. And it doesn't just stay in the lungs. The particles are so tiny, they can cross from the alveoli directly into your bloodstream. Once they're in your circulation, they travel everywhere, causing systemic inflammation. This is why hospital admissions for heart attacks and strokes often spike after major air pollution events. The inflammation can destabilize plaque in arteries and raise the risk of blood clots. But the most chilling effects are the ones that can take decades to show up. The story of the 9/11 first responders and survivors is a tragic, real-world lesson in the long-term consequences of breathing toxic dust. On September 11, 2001, an estimated 400,000 people were exposed to the toxic cloud over Lower Manhattan. In the aftermath, some officials initially claimed the air was safe, a catastrophic misjudgment. In the years since, a wave of chronic illnesses has appeared. First responders, volunteers, and local residents developed high rates of respiratory and digestive problems. Chronic sinus inflammation, asthma, and gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD, became incredibly common. Then came the cancers. Studies of those exposed showed increased risks for multiple cancers, including prostate, thyroid, and blood cancers like leukemia. In the years since the attacks, the number of people who have died from 9/11 related illnesses has grown tragically, now rivaling the number of those lost on the day itself. This happened because the toxic dust didn't just vanish. It settled inside buildings and was repeatedly kicked up, causing chronic exposure for months. The carcinogens in that dust, asbestos, benzene, lead, mercury, dioxins, were inhaled over and over. Recent studies have even shown that this exposure led to genetic mutations in the blood cells of some first responders, increasing their risk of developing blood cancer. This is the insidious nature of the threat. Even after the dust seems to have settled, the poison can remain, a ticking time bomb set years in the future. This information is alarming, and it should be. But fear is useless without action. You aren't powerless. Knowledge is your first line of defense, and with it, you can build a fortress to protect yourself and your family from this invisible enemy. Here are the clear, actionable health steps to take. Your number one priority is to shelter in place. Your goal is to create a sealed barrier between you and the outside air. First, get indoors immediately. Stay away from broken windows or damaged parts of the building. Second, seal your fortress. Close all windows, doors, and any vents that could draw in outside air. Turn off all HVAC systems, air conditioners, and bathroom or kitchen fans. Use duct tape and plastic sheeting to cover any gaps around windows and doors. A wet towel shoved against the bottom of a door can also be surprisingly effective. But what if you must go outside? You have to treat the air like it's poison. The most important tool you have is a mask. But not just any mask. A simple cloth or surgical mask won't stop PM 2.5 particles. You need a well-fitted N95 or KN95 respirator. These are designed to filter at least 95% of these tiny, dangerous particles. Make sure it forms a tight seal on your face. Any gaps will make it useless. Cover up as much as possible. Wear long sleeves, pants, gloves, and eye protection like goggles to keep the toxic dust off your skin. Next, you need a decontamination protocol. Assume that anything or anyone that has been outside is contaminated. Before coming back into your sealed space, remove your shoes and outer layer of clothing. If you can, do this in a designated entryway. Put the contaminated clothing in a sealed plastic bag. Once inside, shower immediately and thoroughly with soap and water. This is crucial for washing away any particles on your skin and in your hair. Finally, think about long-term air safety inside your shelter. An air purifier with a high-efficiency particulate air, or HEPA, filter can be a lifesaver. HEPA filters are certified to capture 99.97% of particles that are 0.3 micrometers in size, making them extremely effective against PM 2.5. Running a HEPA purifier in your main living space will dramatically reduce the concentration of indoor airborne particles. Don't add to the indoor air pollution. Avoid burning candles, using gas stoves, or vacuuming unless your vacuum has a HEPA filter. A normal vacuum will just kick the dangerous dust right back into the air. The dangers from a missile attack don't end when the noise does. In an era of rising tensions between nations like the US and Iran, where missile technology is more accessible than ever, understanding these unseen dangers is critical. The silent, invisible threat that follows can be just as deadly. But by understanding the nature of this toxic dust and taking these concrete health steps, you can reclaim a measure of control and significantly reduce your risk. If you found this information valuable, take a moment to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Sharing this video could genuinely save a life. So let's recap the 3 most important takeaways. First, the dust cloud from an explosion is a toxic cocktail of pulverized materials, explosive chemicals, and carcinogens from fire. Second, these fine particles can cause immediate lung irritation, increase short-term risks for heart attacks and strokes, and can lead to devastating long-term diseases like cancer. And third, you can protect yourself by sheltering in place, sealing your home, wearing an N95 mask if you must go out, decontaminating when you return, and using a HEPA filter to clean your indoor air. The greatest dangers are often the ones we can't see. Now you can. What part of this hidden danger surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Stay safe and stay informed.